When I married Ethan, I believed I was stepping into a fairy tale. My family adored him, and everyone said we made the perfect couple. For years, I thought my marriage was built on love, trust, and mutual respect. But behind the smiles and family dinners, a betrayal deeper than I could have ever imagined was growing right under my nose, with my own family's approval. It began subtly. Ethan started spending more time helping my parents with their business, often coming home late. My mother would defend him, saying, "He's just hard-working, dear. Be grateful you have such a devoted husband." I didn't question it then. I trusted both him and my family completely. Things took a strange turn when I noticed my sister, Claire, acting oddly around him. She laughed at everything he said, touched his arm too often, and avoided my eyes whenever we were all together. When I confronted my mother about it, she brushed it off, saying I was being paranoid and insecure. "Don't ruin your marriage over silly jealousy," she warned. So I let it go for a while. Months later, I found a message on Ethan's phone. It was from Claire. "I miss you. Dinner was amazing last night. Wish she'd never come home early." My heart froze. The words spun in my head like poison. I confronted Ethan immediately. He didn't even deny it. He looked at me calmly and said, "You wouldn't understand. Your family supports me. You're the only one making this difficult." In disbelief, I went to my parents, expecting them to be furious at him. Instead, my mother sighed. "Honey, men make mistakes. Don't throw away your marriage over this." My father said nothing, just looked down. That silence told me everything. They knew. They had known all along. That night, I packed a bag and left. I stayed with a friend for weeks, crying, broken, humiliated. But as the pain settled, something else took its place: resolve. I realized I had been too trusting, too forgiving, too silent. That was about to change. I decided to get my revenge, not with anger, but with intelligence. I quietly began gathering evidence: text messages, emails, financial records. I learned that Ethan had transferred part of my inheritance, with my father's signature, into a joint account with my sister. It was theft, wrapped in deceit. I met with a lawyer, one my family didn't know, and began building a case. Every document I found became a weapon for justice. The day of the confrontation came sooner than they expected. I invited my family and Ethan to my house, to talk. When everyone sat down, I handed copies of the documents to each of them. "Here's what you all helped him steal," I said coldly. Ethan's face turned white. My sister tried to speak, but I cut her off. "And here's the evidence of your affair. Don't bother denying it." My mother started crying, saying, "Please, don't do this to your family." I looked at her, calm for the first time. "You did this to me when you chose him over me." I signed the divorce papers right there in front of them and walked away. That was the day I stopped being their daughter, wife, or victim. The divorce was brutal for Ethan. My lawyer ensured I got back every penny that belonged to me, and more. My sister's reputation was shattered, and my parents' business lost several contracts after the truth came out. I didn't gloat. I didn't have to. Their silence and shame were enough. Months later, I moved to another city, started my own small company, and rebuilt my life. It wasn't easy, but every bit of success felt like a quiet victory. I no longer needed their approval or love. I found peace in my independence. One day, I got a letter from my mother. She wrote that Ethan had left Claire and that they both wanted forgiveness. I read it once and threw it away. Forgiveness, I decided, wasn't something they deserved. It was something I gave myself when I walked away. Looking back, I realized that revenge isn't always loud or cruel. Sometimes, it's simply living well while those who betrayed you watch their choices crumble. My family lost me, and Ethan lost the woman who once believed in him. Today, I stand stronger, wiser, and free. The betrayal that once broke me became the fire that rebuilt me. And every time I see my reflection, I don't see a victim anymore. I see the woman who took her pain and turned it into power.